whatever, right? It was like, it's just it was a whole thing, telling him how wrong he was and explaining it to him. And oh, hey, I'm online. Oh no, I forgot. I didn't notice that. Hey, everybody, what was my intro again? All right, D. Oh, I can't do my intro. Oh, it's all been screwed up. All right, that's fine though. Welcome to part three, where I read the 613 commandments. I thought that would be a good idea because Texas, blah, 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 10 commandments, blah. Whether they're doing it or not, they tried to do it. So it's not enough, I say. We need all 613 because why not? I'm reading from a particular page. Link is in the thing. Everything's in the thing that you need to do the thing of the thing. All right. Let's see. I think we were on. I don't know, six. What was it last time? 620, 630. Anybody remember? Do I remember? Do we know what's going on anymore? No, nobody knows what's going on anymore. Great. What was it? Oh yeah, 357. Okay, so we're gonna start on 356 just in case, because I could have screwed up last time. We know that the Jews, they really hate idolatry. My thought is, this is like early religious people, and maybe even modern day religions might do this if they can get away with it. Destroy the other religions that are around. That way nobody can worship it, right? And with idolatry, right, the thing that you're worshiping is symbolic in that idols, and if you don't have that idol, you can't worship that god. Maybe it's a little bit harder. Mr. L says hi, Mr. L. I'm gonna sneeze. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh, there it is. Okay. Sneeze twice. Can't edit that out. But they don't like adultery, and I think it's just to kind of like get rid of other religions. Anyways, don't give up hating the enticer to idolatry. So anybody that entices you to idolatry, make sure you hate them. I think I was gonna say not 325 as well. It's just because don't don't love the enticer to idolatry. Never give up hating the enticer to idolatry. Okay, all right. Not to save the enticer from capital punishment, there's to stamp at his execution. A person he attempted to entice to adultery shall not urge pleas for the acquittal of the enticer. So, in other words, like, basically, if you do idolatry, you are just screwed. Uh, you know what? I just realized I'm on 357 according to my notes, and I'm reading from way back here. Okay, that's wrong. I'm a moron. 350, what was I? 357. Okay, let's pretend that I know what I'm doing. Not to make use of the property of a city that's been so led astray by idolatry from previous times. So don't rebuild a city that's been led astray by adultery. As I said, they really hated idolatry. Okay, don't use the property of a city that's been led astray. So if the city had anything to do with idolatry, don't use it at all. Just let it be. Let it go to rubble. Don't use that land for anything else. Just let it be. I think again a waste of resources, but whatever. Okay, so pretty sure I'm right now. 357. Yeah. Okay. So now we're on to art. This word that I'm not going to be able to say anymore. I blame whoever not to crossbreed cattle of different species, and don't do that to birds either. Why? I don't know. Just don't do it. I mean, this is God telling you to not do it. Um, so don't do it. Don't do that. Don't crossbreed. Not to sow different kinds of seeds together in one together. What the fuck word is that? Together in one field. Together. That's the new word of the day. Together, friends and gentlemen. Friends and gentlemen. What the man? I don't know. Not to eat the fruit of the tree for 3 years from the time it was planted. What? See, So it's like, okay, when was that tree planted? I was like, I don't know, 4 years ago. Okay, has it been 3 years since then? Let's see. No, yeah, it's just about. I mean, why though? It's so silly. Well, that the fruit bearing trees in the fourth year of their planting shall be sacred, like the second tithe, and eaten in Jerusalem. Wow. So you have to, like, not only do you have to wait, but then you have to take the in the fourth year and eat them only in Jerusalem. Like, what if that was really far away from you? A long time to carry some fruits with you just to eat them. I don't know. Seems to me like God didn't really think these through, but whatever. Not to sow grains or herbs in a vineyard. Why? Why not? Just don't do it. I don't know. Maybe it screws up with the vines. Like, vineyards typically just rows and rows of grapes, right? So they don't really have herbs or grains. But I think that's just more convenient than anything else. Like, just makes it easier to harvest. Did you really need a law about it? I guess he did. Not to eat the produce of diverse seeds sown in a vineyard. Didn't you? I hate how they're repetitive there. Not to work the beasts of different species yoked together. So, like, if you have like a bull, or a buffalo and like a bull or mule, and you tie them to the same thing to like pull it, that's wrong. Why? I don't know. Like, now here's another interesting thing about the Bible, right? They're using animals to pull their equipment around. Why didn't God just tell them how to like build some technology? Nothing advanced necessarily, but just a little bit so they could do a little bit better, you know? But why this? I don't know. Just don't do it. Are they not going to get along? Is that why you're not doing it? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Whatever. That's what God said, so don't do it. Um, okay, this is very important, especially for today's day and age. A man shall not wear a woman's clothing, so no cross dressing allowed. Women should not wear men's clothing. Again, no cross dressing. But occasionally, every now and then, what if you're like missing some underpants, and the only underpants you can find are your girlfriend's underpants? And they're there. Well, I guess it would be your wife because you're not supposed to have a girlfriend and sleep together and have sex and all that. But anyways, what are you supposed to do? Go commando? I guess so. I don't know. It doesn't say. So see, I think that even though this says not to do something, I don't think it tells you what you should do in certain occasions. So here's a famous one that people love to point out: don't wear garments made of wool and linen mixed together. Now, for the modern day and age, we don't really do this anymore. Most of our shirts aren't made of wool or linen. Like, they're made from other stuff. Like, you've got synthetic fiber and stuff nowadays. So goodness knows what the bleep my shirt is even made out of anymore. But this is important for the Jewish people. But if the Ten Commandments are going to be listed, you can't stop at 10. You have to include them all. So this has to be listed, and then that means that school children can't wear wool and linen mixed together. That means somebody has to know how to check what the clothes are made out of, or they have to provide them with a school uniform that isn't those things mixed together. Could it be nylon fabric or synthetic fabric mixed together? Doesn't say. So, see, modern day technology makes this just a moot point. It's so easy to avoid this now. But why would you need to avoid it? Redeem the firstborn human male. Uh, there's a whole thing about redemption of the firstborn. I mean, is it long? Let's see. Yeah, it's kind of long. 31st day of age. There's a ritual. You pay a sum to the pious or one familiar with the procedure, Koyan. Let's see. Is this? Wait, is this the cutting of the thing off? What is this exactly? The first and best things all belong to God is true, even the firstborn children. Let's see. The ritual of redemption is that. Let's see. Koyan. I gotta look up what Koyan is. It's just somebody that performs the rites in the temple. Okay, so they're different from a rabbi. Um, Rabbis are not necessarily kohenes, and kohenes are not necessarily rabbis. Redemption from a rabbi is not valid unless the rabbi is also kohen. The ritual of this applies to a relatively small number of Jews. It applies only to the firstborn male child if he is born by natural childbirth. Wow, that's interesting. So, what if it's an artificial womb or I don't know. Thus, if a female is the firstborn, no child in the family is subject to the ritual. If the first child is born by a cesarean section, the ritual doesn't apply to the child, nor, according to most sources, any child born after that child. If the first conception ends in miscarriage after more than 40 days terms, it doesn't apply to any subsequent child. It does not apply to members of the tribe of Levi or a child born to a daughter of the member of the tribe of Levi. Wow. I'm not sure what the ritual is, but basically you pay somebody $5. Okay. That's today. In those days, it was like 5 shekels. Now it's like $5. Inflation. To redeem the firstling of an ass. Whatever. Same thing. I guess you're just paying somebody money. I got a ways to go. Yeah, no kidding. Thanks. To break the neck of the firstling of an ass if it's not redeemed. So if you don't pay the fee, then you got to break its neck and kill it. Now, here again, I foresee some problems. You didn't tell me to do that or to not do that regarding the human male. So I might mistakenly assume that since I missed the payment of the firstborn, I gotta break his neck if I don't do that. Like, right? Because you didn't clarify there. Okay, you didn't say to do it, granted, but you didn't say not to do it either. Anyways, don't redeem the firstling of a clean beast. Whatever, I don't know. What the fuck? Okay. That the Kriamnam shall put on priestly vestments for the service, not to tear the high Klean's robe. I don't know how you say this. Kohean, whatever. Kohean shall not enter the sanctuary at all times, i.e., when they're not performing service. Orderly Kohen shall not defile themselves by contact with the dead, other than immediate relatives. The Kohen defile themselves for their deceased relatives by attending their burial. Just attending a burial is defiling yourself. You know, like I could understand if it was like jumping on top of the corpse and rubbing yourself against them. That I would think is defiling. I wouldn't think just going to somebody's burial would defile you, but apparently it does. And mourn for them like other Israelites who are commanded to mourn for their relatives. So glad that we have a commandment about mourning your relatives. What if it's somebody you don't like? You know, you're like, I'm glad they're dead. I'm supposed to mourn for them. Okay. Kohen, who has an immersion during the day to cleanse himself from uncleanness, shall not serve in the sanctuary till after sunset. Now, why? Like you just okay, so you got unclean, whatever that I don't know. So you clean yourself off, like I don't know, you take a bath or a shower. I guess they didn't really have showers per se. Anyways, but then after you have to wait until after sunset. So now you might be dirty again. So then you have to clean up again. But then you can't serve it until after sunset. How are you supposed to do nothing so that you stay clean all day? Like how or until the next sunset? This is just dumb, man. I mean, look, after you've cleaned yourself, wouldn't that be the best time to go serve? Like we know he's freshly clean. that's when he should serve. Not like wait longer and you might get dirty again and then serve. This doesn't make any. The Kohen shall not marry a divorced woman. Why not? Kohen shall not marry a harlot. Kohen shall not marry a profaned woman. Show honor to the queen and give him. Man, if I'm not saying this word right, somebody's gonna be mad at me. Kohen. That's what it looks like to me. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Give him presidents all things that are holy. Whatever. High queen shall not defile herself with any dead. You already said this, guys. Even if they're relatives. No, wait a minute. I thought that they said that like they could. Oh, this is a high queen. Okay. So there's a different standard for the high queen. If you're a high queen, you can't go to funerals of your relatives anymore. So that sucks. Oh well. But you're supposed to mourn for them anyways, I guess. Not sure how that works, but whatever. Doesn't matter. That a high queen shall not go under the same roof with a dead body. It has been learnt by tradition that a Kohen who does so violates the probation, neither shall he go in, and also the probation shall not defile himself. Because those Kohens, man, they got to follow a lot of rules. So, see, for most people, they're not Kohens or they're not high Kohens. So, you might wonder how placing up rule number 383, even though that's not actually the rule number because they're not in order of how they appear, whatever, doesn't matter. We're just going to pretend like that we're placing them up in the order that we got here. You might wonder how putting that up in schools matters. But I say, why put up the 10 Commandments? Because they don't apply either for the most part. Like only 3 actually apply to anybody. Don't kill, don't murder, or don't murder / don't steal / I don't know, be nice to each other. That's not a commandment, but it should have been. Anyways, high queen marries a virgin. Gotta make sure she's a virgin somehow. I don't know. Are you a virgin? Nope. Can't get married to you. Okay. High queen shall not marry a widow. Well, I mean, isn't that kind of covered by like marrying a virgin? I mean, well, I guess, yeah. I mean, well, maybe not because maybe they. What if like a woman marries a guy, he drops dead right then and there, and the high queen is like, dang, man, I've never seen that happen. And the woman's like, it's okay. I always loved you, high queen. I've always loved you. He's like, no, sorry. I can't marry you. You're a widow now. but my love for you has no bounds. No law can separate us. I'm sorry, but the law of the mighty one whose name I can't say shall not be broken. Tradition, tradition, da 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 da. Tradition, da 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 da. Tradition. Okay. High queen shall not marry a widow. Right. We said okay. High queen shall not cohabitate with a widow, even without marriage, because then he would profane her. Person with physical blemish don't serve in the sanctuary. You got acne? You're not allowed to work here, buddy. Queen with a temporary blemish shall not serve there. Hey, is that a mole? Can't serve here. But what if you covered it up with makeup? Then could you serve? If they don't notice, they can't tell. Person with a physical blemish shall not enter the sanctuary further than the altar. Okay. Now, see, in altars of like the altars I'm used to are always at like the front of the church, and behind them is like there's not much else behind them. Like there's maybe a place to stand for the priest, and maybe there's a place for the band to play or whatever. But in the Jewish temple, like the altar was somewhere else. I guess I'd have to find like a picture of like a Jewish sanctuary to show Jewish. Okay, because I want to because I don't want to be just talking out my butt on how it looks. That's not. Come on, they gotta have like. Show me an ancient one. All right. Here we go. This is a good one. This will be work. This will be work. This will be work. All right. So over here we got this. Let's see. Hold on. All right. No. Okay, that didn't. All right. Whatever. Over here, that image tabernacle, whatever. This is like really important thing. Okay, so you got the covenant way back there. You got the altar. You got this stuff. You got this stuff. You got the tabernacle, lavender, altar, burnt offering. So basically, you could not pass this altar of burnt offering. Essentially, is what they're talking about. Maybe I think I'm guessing here because I don't really know. Nor do I really care. But I thought that would be interesting to share, anyways, because the Kohen who is unclean will not unclean will not serve in the sanctuary until don't do it. Don't send the unclean out of the camp of the that is out of the sanctuary. Wait, what? Oh, to send them out. Okay, so if they're unclean, what does it mean to be unclean though? There's so many ways to become unclean. Like being near dead people, even if they're getting buried, you're unclean. Being around certain people, you become unclean. It's just so many ways. Like it's just so picky. Like, oh, you touched that thing, you're not clean now. Ooh, go wash yourself, and then you can't come back until after sunset. Kohen who is unclean don't enter the courtyard. This refers to the camp of the whatever. The Kohen shall bless Israel. Set apart a portion of the dough for the Kohen. Now, it doesn't mean dough. It means literal dough, like so they can eat. Like, I guess this is how they get fed. Or maybe they sell that dough or something. Like, this is their payment. I don't know. A Levite shall not occupy themselves with the service that belongs to Kohen, nor the Kohen with that belongs to the Levites. So the Levites were like their own thing. And I don't know. This is just all like priestly duty crap that doesn't apply to anybody that's not a priest or whatever, But it's still part of the commandments, so we have to know about it anyways. That one not a descendant of Aaron. Oh my God, Aaron's in the Bible. I wonder if he knows. In the male line shall not serve in the sanctuary. Okay, whatever. So if you're a descendant of this dude, can't serve in the sanctuary. Why? Just because you're not allowed to. How do you find out if you're a descendant of that? DNA testing, I guess, nowadays. How did you find out back then? No idea. That a Levite shall serve in the sanctuary. So, Levites, do it. Aaron people, don't do it. Give Levites cities to dwell in, and also serve as cities of refuge. None of the tribe of Levite shall take any portion of the territory of the land of Israel. None of the tribe of Levi shall take any share of the spoil at the conquest of the promised land. The Kohanim shall serve in the sanctuary in all divisions, but on festivals they all serve together. So, to me, I've always thought like the Yahweh was chosen as a war god because they wanted to go conquer certain areas. And so here we have that they haven't yet gotten to the promised land or conquered it. So they're saying, okay, when we do conquer it, the Levite don't get any spoils at all because their position is like this. That's what they're supposed to do. And they're not supposed to do this. They're the priests. They're the I don't know what they are. They're special, and so because of that, they're excluded from certain stuff. So it's a real sacrifice to be in that tribe. So why would you want to be in that tribe? You might not want to be in that tribe, but if you're born into it, I guess you're stuck. I guess you could join them if you wanted to. I don't know how any of it works, to be honest. But you know what? The Kohanim shall serve in the sanctuary in divisions, but on festivals, they all serve together. All of them? How many are there? Like, what if there's like 100 of them? I don't know. All right, time for the important part. Time to pay money. Uncircumcised person will not eat of the whatever the termrah heave offering, and the same applies to other holy things. This rule is inferred from the law of the Paschal offering by similarity of the phrase, but is not explicitly set forth in the Torah. Traditionally, it's been learnt that the rule of the uncircumcised must not eat holy things. Whatever. So don't, if you're uncircumcised, just fuck off, I guess. Not to alter the order of separating the tremor and the tithes. The separation be order of fruits at the beginning, then the tremor, then the first tithe, then the second tithe. How many? My God, you're bleeding us dry here, guys. So there's your first fruits, right? Those go to God, quote unquote. Then the second part goes to whatever they are. Then you have to offer another first tithe, actually, but that, even though you've already paid fruit, you have to pay now physical money, I guess. And then there's a second tithe. Give half a shekel every year to sanctuary for provision of public sacrifices. Wow. So, okay. That a Kohen who is unclean shall not eat of the herber, whatever. Person who is not a Kohen, the wife of an unmarried daughter of a Kohen, shall not eat of the herber. That a sojourner with a Kohen or his hired servant shall not eat of herber. See, not to eat tevil. Oh, God. To set apart a tithe of the produce. All right, for the Levites. Yeah. So the Levites get something. To tithe cattle. So tithe the cattle. Not to sell the tithe of the herd. Levites shall set apart the tenth of their tithes which they've received from the Israelites and give it to the Kohen. So the Kohen are kind of down the rooster ladder pole, totem pole of how things work, I guess. I don't know. Not to eat the second tithe of cereals outside Jerusalem. What? What the bleep? Not to consume the second tithe of vintage outside Jerusalem. Not to consume the second tithe of oil outside of Jerusalem. Don't forsake the Levites, but their gifts shall be given to them, so they might rejoice thereon each day at every festival. So give them stuff, because they're the Levites and they need some stuff, I guess. To set apart the second tithe, the first, the fourth, and the fifth years of the sabbatical year to be eaten by its owner in Jerusalem. Do what now? So to set apart the second tithe in the first year, the second year, and the fourth and fifth years of the sabbatical cycle, so that, like, are they just sitting there waiting for the person to eat? So today it's set aside by not eating in Jerusalem. Is it eaten at all? I don't know how to do any of it. This is so convoluted stuff that you have to do if you want to be a pastor, or rabbi, whatever the fuck you are, to do all this stuff. Set apart the second tithe, third and sixth sabbatical year for the poor. Today it must be separated out, but need not be given to the poor. I love that update. Yeah, fuck the poor. Of course they would update it like that. I thought you guys weren't supposed to change how things were. Oh well, whatever. To give the queen the due portions of the carcass of the cattle. Blah, blah, whatever. Give the first of the fleece to the queen. Set apart oh my God. Terma golda. The small portion of grain, wine, and oil for the queen. Not to expend the proceeds of the second tithe on anything but food and drink. So don't spend the money on anything except for food or drink. Got it. Anything outside of things necessary for substance comes with the class in the phrase given for the dead. Okay. So anything you want money-wise, you got to survive from that second tithe. And anything beyond that is like whatever you were giving to dead people, you can survive on that too. Wow. Sucks to be a Kohen or whatever, I guess. Not to eat the second tithe, even in Jerusalem, in a state of uncleanliness until the tithe has been redeemed. You have to pay more money for the tithe that is unclean to make it clean? I don't know. Don't eat the second tithe when mourning. Somebody's dead. You're not supposed to eat that. Shit. to make the declaration when bringing the second tithe to the sanctuary. Hey, everybody, here comes the second tithe. Come through. Make way for the second tithe. Not to build an altar of hewn stone. Not to mourn the altar by steps. To build the sanctuary. Build that sanctuary. Do it. That's a commandment. But don't you think that after it's built, you don't need that commandment anymore? I'm just saying, like, you only need that once. So shouldn't it be like, build a sanctuary, then get rid of this commandment because you won't need it anymore. But do upkeep the sanctuary. Keep that part of the commandment going because, you know, or maybe it should be like to rebuild the sanctuary if it, not to remove the staffs from the ark, which we don't have anymore, so that definitely doesn't apply at all. There's no Ark of the Covenant anymore, so 429 seems a bit, a bit impossible now. To set the showbread and the fragrances before the Lord every Shabbat. To kindle the lights in the sanctuary, halah, halah. That the breastplate shall not be loosened from the ephod. What does any of that mean? Don't know, don't care. To offer incense twice daily. My God, you gotta do so much work. Is this just for the priest people or is this for everybody? No idea. Not to offer strange incense, nor sacrifice upon the golden altar. What's a strange incense? I don't know. Kohen shall wash his hands and feet at the time of the service. Well, why not before the service? They come in there, hey guys, how's it going? I gotta wash my hands and feet right now. Is it part of the service where you watch them wash their hands and feet? Is that part of what you do at, like, rabbi churches, things, synagogues? I don't know, I've never been. Now I kind of want to go. It's just like, where's the Kohen? I want to see them wash their hands and feet. And, like, if you got a feet fetish, that's got to be some extra points where you're like, oh, yeah, wash your feet. Does anyone have a hand fetish, I wonder? Prepare the oil of atonement and anoint a high quiyim and kings with it. Don't compound oil for lay use after the formula of anointing oil. Not to anoint a stranger with anointing oil. Get to know them first, then you can do that. Not to compound anything after the formula of the incense, that he who in error makes unlawful use of sacred things shall make restitution of the value of his trespass and add a fifth. So if you screw up and you use a sacred thing, it's going to owe you money plus some more money. To remove the ashes from the altar, because they used to burn stuff at the altar, make, cook up some animals and stuff, so there'd be ashes left behind. To keep fire always burning on the altar of the burnt offering. But you have to remove the ashes as it's still burning. Wow, but always? Is it always burning? That's a tough job. Okay. Don't extinguish the fire on the altar. All right. What if it's getting out of control? Oh, Kohen shall not enter the sanctuary with disheveled hair. Just cut it off. Just be bald. Probably easier that way. Kohen shall not enter the sanctuary with torn garments. I wonder if they did that. Like, I gotta comb my hair. I'm just gonna cut it all off. Like, I wonder if you wanted to be a Kohen, if you just I'm gonna shave my head. It's just gonna be easier that way. But you couldn't shave your beard, I don't think. Wait, no, I think they have a thing there you're not allowed to cut your hair, so I don't think you could. Oh, it's really hard to be a Kohen, That's what I'm taking away from this. Oh, God, Kohens, more Kohen stuff. The Kohen should not leave the courtyard of the sanctuary during service. Fine. Intoxicated person won't enter the sanctuary nor give decisions in the matter of the law. Hey, you're drunk. Get out of here. To revere the sanctuary or synagogues, I guess. So just think of them like, treat them nice. Treat them holy. Be kind to them. And, as an outsider, I'm not going to go to a synagogue and be like rude and shit. That's messed up. I'm not going to be obnoxious and be like, hey, everyone, this stuff's all made up and bullshit. I'm not going to scream that out during the sermon as much as I want to. if I went to a synagogue, I'd go in and sit wherever they tell me to sit, and I'd just listen to whatever's being said and watch and try to see what I could learn from it. I guess probably be boring, so I'm probably not going to do it. That when the ark is carried, it should be carried on the shoulder. So somebody dropped the ark in a story, and they were just immediately killed by God for it. Pretty cool. Observe the second Passover. Eat of the flesh of the paschal lamb on it with unleavened bread and buttered herbs. I don't know if that tastes good or not, but at least you get something to eat. You go to church, get a nice yummy lamb, some unleavened bread and bitter herbs. Not the greatest in the world, but at least it's food. So at least you're getting something out of service, I guess. Don't leave any flesh of the lamb brought on the second Passover until the morning. So better eat it all gone, I guess. Don't break a bone of it brought on the second Passover. So, but what if you do it by accident? I guess that's in that, it's holy thing. So if you're mistreating it, you owe the money of the entire lamb. What if you're on the last lamb leg and you're about to eat that yummy thing with your unleavened bread and bitter herbs, and you're like, drink, and you break the leg. You're like, oh shit, now I owe all the money for the entire lamb. Well, you could probably toss it in the ever-burning fire. Nobody would notice. To sound the trumpets of offering of sacrifices in times of trouble. Now, isn't that a bit confusing? You have the same trumpets for times of trouble and sacrifices. Is it a time for a sacrifice, or are we getting attacked? Might be time for a sacrifice? I don't know. Let's get some animals together. Let's get to the temple. All right, we brought our animals here, and we're being attacked. God damn it. What were we thinking? Why didn't we use different trumpets for this? To watch over the edifice continuously, not to allow the sanctuary to remain unwatched. So just have a camera on it 24/7. That seems easier than having a person guarded all the time. That an offering shall be brought in by one who has committed an error. That an offering shall be brought by one who has an error, committed a trespass against sacred things, or robed, or lain carnally with a bondmaid, betrothed to a man, or denied what was deposited with him, and swore falsely to support his denial. This is called a guilt offering for no trespasses. Oh my God, whatever the bleep is all this about. I don't know. But do that. If you did stuff, then you have to bring an offering for that stuff. So if you don't want, so basically what that says to me is it's not like you're not allowed to do these things. You are allowed, technically speaking, you're allowed to rob or lay carnally with a bondmaid, even if they're betrothed to man, and you're allowed to deny what was deposited with you, and you're allowed to swear falsely to support your denial. But as long as you bring a guilt offering, you're off scot-free as far as I can tell. And maybe I could be wrong about that, but I don't think I am. Not to destroy anything of the sanctuary or the synagogues or the house of study, nor erase the holy names of God, nor make sacred scriptures be destroyed. Don't burn the Torah. Don't burn those scrolls. Now, I could understand back in the day, writing was very rare. Illiteracy was rampant. The cost of having a scroll was high. Nowadays, people don't like it when you burn a Bible, and it's really kind of silly because there's a million Bibles out there. But if you want to do it, you can. There's this whole thing with the Quran. People do they do not want, the Muslims do not like the Quran being burned. And they'll kill you if you do it. If they could kill you and get away with it, they'll do it. Maybe they'll kill you even if they don't know that they can get away with it. So, but what people have done is they'll just download, they'll have 100 million copies of the Quran on a flash drive and just delete them all. Isn't that basically destroying it? So nowadays, with our technology, You could make a simulation of the sanctuary, of synagogues, of a house of study, and a simulation of holy names and scriptures. And then you could destroy that simulation over and over again indefinitely. Does that count? I don't know. Is that wrong? Don't know, because our technology wasn't known about back then. They didn't put any provisions about simulations or drawings. Like, what if you draw the sanctuary? Can you destroy that? I don't know. What if you write your own scripture? Are you allowed to destroy that? I don't know. But wouldn't it be interesting if you were somebody that wanted to come and attack the Jews? This is what I would do if I knew about this command. I would put on my, like, it's not going to be a tank, because back then they didn't have tanks per se, but I would make a thing like a tank, kind of. It would be covered with whatever they used for paper back then. And on that would be scriptures, holy scriptures, all over the place. Be on my horse, be on my armor, be all over me. I'd be like, march up there, here I come with my sword and my shield. Everything on it has, sacred scripture. Can't destroy it. Can't destroy it. I'm immune to everything. Can't stab me. Might destroy the sacred scripture on me. And then I could just kill whoever. Boop, 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 you're dead. Ha, 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 you're dead. You're dead. You're dead. You're dead. You're dead. Because, I was smart like that. So, you didn't think about that, did you? But I did. Anyways, so I think there should have been a provision in there that if the bad guys happen to wear sacred scripture as armor, that then you're allowed to destroy it. If I was God doing the commandments, I'd put that in, just in case. But obviously God knew it wouldn't be a problem. To sanctify the firstling of clean cattle and offer it up. Slay the partial lamb. Eat of the flesh of the partial Eat of the flesh of the partial sacrifice on the night of the 15th of the Nisan. The car? What? Not to eat the flesh of the partial lamb raw or sudden. How would you want to eat it raw? Anyways, yuck. Not to leave any portion of the flesh until the morning unconsumed. Yeah, we already saw that one. Not to give the flesh of the partial lamb to an Israelite who's become an apostate. Ooh. Fuck you, apostate. You don't get any lamb. Not to give the flesh of the partial lamb to a stranger who lives among you to eat. Hey, stranger, how's it going? Pretty good. Pretty hungry right now. Yeah? That's too bad. Not to take any flesh of the partial lamb from the company's place of assembly. I'm too full. I know I have to eat all of this. Can I take it home to go? No! No taking it to go. Eat it all here, or not at all. I'm full, though. Well, give it to me. I'll eat it. Don't break a bone. Didn't we already say all this? Circumcised shall I eat the flesh of the partial lamb, not to slaughter the partial lamb where there's kismet in the home. What the hell is this? What? Not to leave part of the partial lamb should be burnt on the altar until morning, when it will no longer be fit to be burnt. Not to go up to the sanctuary for a festival without bringing an offering. To bring the first fruits to the sanctuary fresh, that the flesh of a sin offering and guilt offering shall be eaten. So again, I just think, like, you sin, you sin, so you have to sacrifice whatever the bleep animal is, because now it's a sin offering. But then you get to eat it. So, like, you're like, man, I'm really craving some hamburger. I'm bringing my cow. First, I gotta, like, commit some sin. I don't know. There's some woman. I'll just have sex with her. Whatever. Oh, I'm bringing this in as a sin offering. Oh, I feel so bad. Oh, yeah, let's burn it. Anyways, that one is not the seed of Aaron shall not eat the flesh of the holy sacrifices. What? Okay. To observe the procedure of the burnt offering, observe the procedure of meal offering. Don't offer up leaven or honey. Just don't. Every sacrifice has to be salted. Don't offer up anything unsalted. Isn't that kind of covered by the idea that you're salting everything? Like, obviously you're not. Okay, whatever. The court of judgment shall offer up a sacrifice if they err in judicial pronouncement. Oh yeah. So this really helps. Like, oops, we sentenced that dude to death by stoning, and he dead now. Well, I guess all we have to do now is offer up this little lamb to be sacrificed, and then everything's fine now. Sure, the guy is still dead and died a horrible way, but at least we offered a sacrifice to God. Everything's fine. Individuals shall bring a sin offering if they've sinned in error by committing a transgression, the conscious violation which punishment with what? Excision? What word is this? Let's see. No. Come on, tell me what is this? A surgical removing of a body part or tissue. Okay. To offer sacrifice of varying value in accordance with one's means. So at least that's good. You got a sliding scale for what you should offer or not. That hey, that makes sense. But then that also means the rabbis get up in your business about how much you earn. Not to sever completely the head of a fowl brought as a sin offering. Not to put olive oil in a sin offering made of flour. Not to put frankincense on a sin offering made of flour. Just don't bring a sin offering made of flour then. I guess you have to for certain sin offerings though. An individual shall bring an offering, and I guess flour was rarer in those days than nowadays. Because you can just buy a thing of flour at the store. Not that expensive. I don't know. Might be special flour. I don't know. Individuals should bring offering if they're in doubt to whether they've committed a sin for which one has to bring a sin offering. Hey, if you're not sure that you committed a sin, better bring an offering. It's called a guilt offering for doubtful sins, though. It's different from the pure outright guilt offer, the just known sins. It's like, I think that I don't know if I sinned, so I'm just covering my bases just in case. This to me seems like a fear thing built in. Like, oh, did I sin or not? I'm worried, so I'm going to do it. And then that makes you pay out more money, or, well, in this case, produce and animals and stuff that you've been diligently raising and keeping animals away from and crap. It's like you have to kill it for God, and then you might not even get to eat it. But even if you did get to eat it, like, maybe you didn't want to kill it, you wanted to sell it or something. But better cover up that sin just in case. A reminder for the meal offerings shall be eaten. So, okay, hold on, I gotta go back to this one a little bit more, because Jesus does all the sacrifice. Don't need to do it because Jesus is the ultimate sacrifice. So this is one hell of a pitch for Christianity to the Jews. Like, all these laws, you ain't got to do any of that crap anymore. All you got to do is know that Jesus is the final and only offering needed. So you don't need to offer stuff anymore. You don't need to pay money anymore like you've been doing. You still need to pay money, but not like you've been doing. So it's a really good pitch, right? Anyways, not to allow the remainder of meal offerings to become leavened. The high Kohen shall offer a meal of offering daily. Oh, God. Don't be a high Kohen. It's just a lot of work. Not to eat the meal offering brought by the Kohen. Well, yeah, that's for him. To observe the procedures of the sin offering. Not to eat the flesh of sin offerings, the blood of which is brought within the sanctuary and sprinkled towards the veil. That veil's got to be nasty. It's always getting sprinkled with blood and crap. Oh, the smell of that place. Can you imagine how terrible that temple had to smell? All these animals being burnt all the time, blood splattered around. Also, how messy it would have been. People washing their hands and feet in the temple. It's just stinky, man. Like, just, I don't know, maybe the barbecue smell overpowered everything else. I don't know, but alright, to observe the procedure of the guilt offerings, observe the procedure of the peace offering, to burn the meat of holy sacrifice remained over, not to eat sacrifices even beyond the appointed time for eating them, not to eat the holy things that become unclean, to burn the meat of holy sacrifices become unclean, and person who is unclean shall not eat things that are holy. A Kohen's daughter who profaned herself shall not eat of holy things, neither heave offering, nor of the beast, nor the shoulder of the peace offering. Oh, holy shit. I think that's good for now. I'm tired. It's good enough for now. Stay tuned for part 4 of this insanity, I guess. Ugh.